Once upon a time, a little girl was born on the 8th December 1542. She was the daughter of a powerful king who was named James V of Scotland and of an enigmatic woman named Marie de Guise. The little girl's name is Mary Stuart, Mary Queen of Scots. In this Once Upon a Woman video, I want to discuss the rise of Mary Queen of Scots. I want you to understand how powerful she became, but that despite the hardship she had to go through, Mary Queen of Scots was very much blessed from the very beginning. Soon after her birth, her father died and she became Queen of Scotland. Her mother, Marie de Guise, did everything she could to protect her. And I really think here that you can't truly understand Mary Queen of Scots, Mary Stuart, without understanding her French family, the Guises. So first we're going to discuss briefly, because I want to make a video on her, who was Marie de Guise. Marie de Guise was the eldest of the 12 children born to Claude, Duke of Guise, and Antoinette de Bourbon. The Guise family are princes of blood, which meant that they had a right to the French throne. They were an extremely powerful noble family that lived in Lorraine, and Lorraine was a duchy that was extremely powerful, not only because of where it was situated, but also because of the wealth that it provided. Marie de Guise was first married to Louis II d'Orléans, Duke of Longueville, and the marriage was arranged by Francis I of France himself, showing how much he favored the Guises family, but also how he recognized the importance of the Guise family as a very powerful French noble family. Unfortunately, Duke of Longueville is going to die 3 years later, in 1537, and Marie de Guise is going to be left with a 2-year-old son. It's going to be Francis III, Duke of Longueville. The tragedy of Mary de Guise's life is that later she's going to be forced to marry James V of Scotland as a political alliance, a very strong also sign that the Guise family was extremely powerful and influential in European politics. And when she does that, she has to leave behind her son, Francis III, the Duke of Longueville. And why am I telling you this? Because when she's going to have in 1542 Mary Queen of Scots as her daughter, the bond between mother and daughter is going to be so strong. The love that she could no longer give to her son, she's going to give everything to her daughter. And her daughter, though she's only spending 5.5 years really with her mother, because then she's sent to France, she's going to be a mini Marie de Guise in many ways. They are two peas in the same pod. I really believe that. When Marie Stuart is sent to France to have a better education, but not only that, to become Dauphine of France, a marriage is arranged again in favor of the Guises family. Marie Stuart is going to become one day Queen of France. She's going to be on the French throne, something that the Guises desperately wanted. The youth of Mary Stuart, when you see, she obviously lost her father, she's then separated from her mother that she truly loved. But at the same time, she's so protected. She's this wonderful kid. She's pretty, she's intelligent, she's gifted. And she's truly loved at the French court. She's rising, she's thriving at the French court. Everyone loved Mary Stuart. Maybe not Catherine Medici, but everyone else loved Mary Stuart. Her relationship with Francis, who's going to become Francis II, who's the eldest son of Henry II and Catherine de Medici, is going to be a strong bond, but mostly because I think he was completely smitten with her. She probably wasn't. I think she had affection, but it's definitely the best husband she's going to have. But to be fair, is it really a competition? I'm not sure, but whatever. And so here the dynamic is that the couple is very united. And when in 1559, at the surprise of everyone, Henry II died in a jousting tournament, Francis II and Mary Stuart become King and Queen of France. And at that time, it meant it was the rise of the Guises, 1559 to 1560. The Guises were in the Privy Council and they were in control of the couple. Though I would argue that it's very hard to be in control of Mary Stuart. When you really look at her correspondence and her letters, you realize that she is her own free woman. She makes her own mistakes and she makes her own decisions. And for that, I think we can respect her, even though she can have some annoying sides in her, you know. I think there's lots of respect that comes from when you look at her correspondence, when you look at her words, at her letters. But tragedy still happened in Mary Stuart's life. On the 5th December 1560, her husband is gonna die 3 days before her birthday. She's then going to be forced to go back to Scotland. She's gonna ask for Elizabeth, as we saw before, a self-conduct to go to England. I discussed that in my video on Elizabeth I and Mary Stuart, and I discuss why they never met. Elizabeth did not want to receive her cousin at court because Mary Stuart was using the title of Queen of England and the English coat of arms. Mary Stuart goes back to Scotland and ruled as a regnant Scottish queen. But the problem was for the Guises is that the Scottish throne, though it's a throne, they're very happy. They want there's like 3 big thrones in Europe, really, at the time. There's like a bit of a hierarchy. I don't really believe in that, but you see what I mean. The English, the French, and the Spanish. And the Guises were really interested in the English throne because they thought that Mary had a really strong right. They did not recognize Elizabeth's legitimacy. And the Guises also wanted, you know, their own French throne because they were princes of blood. And there's going to be a huge amount of rivalry competition between the Valois dynasty and the Guises. That's why you have so much tension in the religious civil wars. The religious civil wars are mostly instigated by the Guise family. I call this video the rise of Mary Queen of Scots because even when she's in Scotland, I think she's still rising. She understood the political situation. She does not force Catholicism on Scotland because it just had a Reformation. She's extremely showing tolerance here. So very interesting when you look at Mary Stuart and what she's doing. You see that she's still rising when she's on her own. There's like marriage negotiations with Don Carlos. Please look at my book Blood, Fire and Gold, where I discussed Don Carlos's Philip II's son, and I discussed how Elizabeth and Catherine Medici stopped that marriage happening. It's obviously not an English or French interest to have a Scottish-Spanish alliance. What a disaster. When everything starts to be a bit more difficult for Mary is when she made the decision to marry Henry Donnelly, her cousin, on her father's side. It gives her a stronger claim to the English throne, but it's like forgetting that this man is a narcissist, a violent, horrible person. And he concealed all his bad sides until he got into power. He believed that he could become Mary Stuart's political master, forgetting that no one could ever be Mary Stuart's political master. So here in this video, we have this little girl from a very strong and powerful French noble family, rising, you know, at the French court, having probably the best years of her life, being treated like, you know, a diamond herself. She's the most beautiful thing that has ever existed, ever walked on earth. Then she's forced, because fate struck again, to go back to Scotland. She's in the mix of a country that is divided, it's complicated, there are factions. Still, she manages to do a good job as a Queen Regnant of Scotland during that time, 1561, 64, 65. And then she made that decision that would stop her from rising. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you will watch the other video on Once Upon a Woman in 2 weeks' time on Mary Stuart's downfall explained. Take things from 1565 until her death in 1587. Thank you so much for being here and for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments about Mary Stuart's life, her early years. I cannot wait to hear. And I'll see you next time. Bye!